Well, what do you know? It went live. Well, I've been trying to go live for a while, and it wouldn't go live. All right, so well, look, it's Meta, except I'm wearing the Wayfarers, the super duper future so bright, gotta wear shades. Oh, Boomy Booms, things went boom in Beirut. So let's see, we'll start with that. My favorite part is, don't worry, just because it looked like a nuclear blast and there was a vortex cloud and everything doesn't mean it was a nuclear, right? Everybody, the same lying liars that told you about Russia and the same lying liars that told you that jet fuel melts steel beams are telling you, don't worry, that was that was sodium nitrate. Okay, not like I've been to the Naval Academy or anything and took all kinds of classes, or how should we say, seminars. I didn't actually have formal attendance at the Naval Academy. I went to an engineering and science seminar there, and all the classes that I took, well, not all of them, but many, I took geez, I can't remember all the names of the formal names of it, but one was like metals testing and structural steel, and for ships, actually, for the bows of ships, and concrete, and for making ports and so on, navy type stuff. And part of blowing up, part of being in the Navy is blowing shit up, and that's my favorite part of it. And in that we had this one professor who was awesome. He used to get this. I have that someplace. I had a certificate that showed my completion, signed by an admiral, the whole 9 yards, because I paid attention. I took notes. And sodium nitrate does not blow up and turn brown. It just doesn't. It's if you're gonna, there'd be a greenish color to it because it's sodium nitrate, and that's a green kind of thing. That you didn't see green anywhere in that. You also saw 1, 2, 3 explosions. I'll put a link down there. There's a couple other guys that are way more into it than me, and I'm lazy. I'm just lazy. And part of the reason why I'm lazy is you can fucking do the math for these idiot sheep, and it doesn't matter. You tell them 2 and 2 is 4, and they're going to go, yeah, but can you prove it? Anyway, so here's some things that you need to know, just for fun, off the top of my fucking head, more or less. Detonation wave pressure. How much detonation wave pressure does it take to blow concrete off of rebar? How much detonation wave pressure does it take to twist metal? How many pounds per square inch? And if you're smart, you won't do pounds per square inch, because pounds per square inch is a fucking pain in the ass. Do kilometers, or not kilometers, kilos and centimeters, or actually decameters. But square centimeters and kilos per, because then you got base 10, and it's a whole lot easier than pounds per square inch. But anyway, if you know anything, and I'm sure you're all fucking familiar with detonation wave pressure, because that's the kind of stuff that you like to do, and so you can school me all about it. Put me in the comments. I'm all happy about it to hear it. But that wasn't fireworks, and that wasn't fucking sodium nitrate. But you fucking sheep will buy it if, well, not maybe, like I said, maybe not you guys, but you'll buy it if they tell it to you, because these are the same guys that told you that jet fuel melts steel beams, and you bought that shit. So why wouldn't you buy the sodium nitrate story? And everybody's pointing at Oklahoma. That's the first thing. There's your first clue. Maybe you should take a look at some of the stuff that was written about the Bali blast. And then my favorite, I was in this one thread, and it even says it. I think it was USA Today or one of it. Just because it looks like a nuclear explosion doesn't mean it was a nuclear explosion, because every blast that happens has a vortex cloud and the little vapor dome. These are telltale signs of high explosive, not fertilizer and diesel. Not it's painful. But like I said, so the idea is, if you want to do the research, go take a look at Bali, go take a look at micro nukes, go take a look at suitcase nukes. There's only a very few countries that have the technology to micronize thermonuclear devices to that size. There's also theories about, and I saw a video with my own eyes. Dude, they don't look like drones. They don't look like airplanes. At first they look like, what are there, Cessnas flying around that? Not helicopters out of the sky, apparently. People far, far away got blown over by this thing. Okay, that's detonation wave, and detonation wave from fertilizer dissipates over distance. And then the other thing is, it's stripped concrete. That was a freaking grain silo with thick concrete walls, and that blast. And take a look at the pictures. That warehouse was far away from, I mean, yards and yards away from where that grain silo was. Mathematics is simple here. Over time, I mean, do you know how much fucking force? No, you don't, which is why you believe the stories. But how much force it would take to blow concrete apart at that distance, right? I mean, even if you had a fucking good-sized bomb right next to it, you'd still have to have some serious blast force to have the bomb go off over here. And I mean, and the blast crater is humongous. At least this one has a blast crater. Other ones didn't have a blast crater. People are talking about directed energy weapons. Fuck, I have no idea. You and I, a directed energy weapon could come up and bite you on the ass, and you wouldn't know what it was. Neither would I, because we don't know dick about directed energy weapons and how they work and so forth. If you do, great. I don't have a clue. Was it a thermonuclear device, a tactical nuke? I don't know that for sure. Was it fertilizer? That I know it wasn't. Other than that, I don't know what the fuck happened, right? I do know that on that same day, apparently there was a blast in Wuhan, and then I can point you to articles if you want. 36 in that 36-hour stretch, 6 various things blew it up. I used to make that a status update occasionally. It's like, oh, it's a great day. I woke up and nothing blew up, right? Nothing went boom. Nothing went boom, and no kids were shot. Okay, stuff went boom, boom, boomy boom. Oh, the other thing that's gone boom is silver, and we'll talk about that. I've been talking about silver since it was 14 bucks. And telling you to get silver when you could actually get silver for around 14, 15 bucks. Remember that video I made and I said it was 12 something? I'm like, there's no way you could get silver in your hand for that spot price. But you could have got it in the teens. You could have easily gotten it in the teens. I have silver coming, and not a lot of it, just to some dimes, just because I saw some dimes on sale on eBay. The guy apparently didn't know what he had as a state sale, and he was selling them cheap. By the time they get here, they're going to be worth like $6 an ounce more than when they get here, because I think he sent them slow boat to China or something. Because I bought this quite a while ago, and they still haven't got here. But anyway, and it was just like some dime rolls. Each one of those dimes is going to be worth money. But let's get back to stuff blowing up. We are apparently at war. Simple as that. There's a war going on. They're just not telling us about it. They're telling us about fireworks and fertilizer and stuff, but they're not telling us that there seems to be very clear, and I mean, it's hot. It's a hot war. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but the very clear detonations, explosions. There is a battle going on. We have in the Middle East, Beirut was one of them. There was stuff in Iraq. Like I said, Wuhan battle going on. We have in the Middle East, Beirut was one of them. There was stuff in Iraq. Like I said, Wuhan, the stuff blowing up. And they just in 36 hours, a whole bunch of stuff blew up, right? just coincidentally, this happened. Okay, jet fuel, don't steel beams, and 2 planes can knock down 3 buildings at free fall speed. Those are the same guys that told you about Russia, the same guys that told you about the destroyer getting shot in the Gulf of Tonkin, those naughty Vietnamese, the same guys that told you on and on. All right, you get the point. Whatever the fuck they say, I believe the opposite, pretty much. Or maybe I don't believe it, but I'm going to think the opposite, because it was great, because basically just because it looked like a nuke doesn't mean it was a nuke. And then there's a whole bunch of websites you can go to in the military that talk about suitcase weapons and about having like really crazy high explosives, like some of them actually nuclear, contained in a thing that you could carry on your back. Nah, that's probably, and if you look it up on the mainstream media in the United States, that's all conspiracy theory and crazy talk. And it's great because it literally says, oh, probably a myth, right? Probably not. Micro nukes, I mean, come on, that would be perfect, because you put and on top of that, you got to be able to put, you got to be able to micronize it and put it at the tip of a torpedo on a sub, right? And make no mistake, there are nuclear tipped torpedoes. I was told that, and just because I was told it doesn't make it true, just making this clear, that the nuclear devices on this planet have pretty much been inert, that they're, for the most part, have been caused to go inert. That's conspiracy theory. I want to believe that. That doesn't make it true. It means that I want to believe the fact that there are plenty of other stories about UFOs basically showing up near silos, and then the missiles don't work. I mean, like those stories those have been going on since I worked in radio back in the 80s. Crazy stories about, guys seeing things and then their silos. I mean, anyway, these are military men. Why would they lie? Don't know if any of it's true. I would love for that to be true, because I would prefer that these crazy monkeys that are running this thing don't have access to nuclear weapons. And that's probably, and see, this is the other thing, with all the crazy shit going on, the booms and all this other stuff going on, silver kicking off, and what's Trump doing? And finally, I think it was educating liberals. Somebody, I'm sure in this group, somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows that guy. Give him one of my videos, because he finally has woken up to the fact that Q definitely is, the PSYOP is not the correct word, because it is a PSYOP, but it's not, it doesn't make it fake. It means that, yeah, they were releasing information to try to wake some people up, but they didn't want you so woke that you became aware of the United States corporation. They didn't want you that woke. They want you woke enough that you voted for Democrats or Republicans, but not so woke that you realize that Democrats and Republicans are two birds, same wing, or excuse me, two wings, one bird. It's not two different birds. It's the same bird. And the one bird has the Democratic side, and then it has the flappy Republican side. And the two of them work together to get you guys into the fold and voting. That's what they want. They want you registered to vote, because now you're registered to vote. Now you've told them that you can't present yourself. You need representation. You must, right? And again, learn what the words mean. Do they call them election houses, or are they polling places? They're polling places. They're polling you. You don't fucking elect the president of the, I mean, yeah, the slaves really think that they elect their master, right? We choose our master. No, you don't. It'd be bad enough if you did. I mean, if you actually did choose your master, I mean, God. But I mean, you don't choose your master. They're chosen for you. This is why most of you, when you go to, if you still vote, you feel dirty afterwards, and you see that your vote everything seems to stay the same year after year. Every 4 years, you go down, shuffle down to the place. And this time they won't let you shuffle down there, because these baby bombing bastards that have been bombing babies in front of you for your whole life. We've been bombing babies since I could open my eyes and look around. Back in the 60s, you used to get it on your TV. Now you get it on your internet. You can name all the different countries, Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria, and I mean, name it, Yemen, and we've been all over I mean, oh, let's go to Southeast Asia. How about Vietnam? Oh, let's go to South America. How about the Middle Americas? We've been bombing babies for 50 years or more, going back further than that for sure. And now the baby bombers care so much about you that they want you to wear a mask, so you don't get sick. Oh, wait. I have this. I'm going to read it to you. This comes from Dennis. I put it in the other one. Do I have it here? I want to talk about the health benefits of Jamaican cherries, but that might not make it into this video. I might just put the thing down there. Let's see here. There's Form 56. Uh-oh. I had a little crash on my computer and some stuff closed. I definitely want to talk about equity. What did I just do with that? Oh, I know where it is. I got so damn many windows open. There it is. Okay. All right. So why face masks don't work? This comes from Revealing Review. This was in Oral Health. This is a thing that goes out to dentists. This was written in October of 2016, long before the Rona became a political thing. And see, people have finally figured out that, how easy it is to buy politicians? Yeah, it's just as easy to buy scientists. Let's see here, but I'm going to read directly from this. Face mask, let's see here. It's a long article. Here we go. Boom. Let's boom, get it? Stuff going boom. Lots of stuff going boom. So let's start here. The inadequacies. Between 2004 and 2016, at least a dozen research or review articles have been published on the inadequacies of face masks, and then all the footnotes, 5, 6, 11, 7, 18, blah, blah, blah. So, a bunch of them. All agree that the poor facial fit and limited filtration characteristics of face masks make them unable to prevent the wearer inhaling airborne particles. Any of you guys that have ever done drywall work or sanding work know that a regular old face mask, you're still going to get sawdust on your nose. I used to have a job doing construction all day long. That's all I got to do was sand. That's because I started out as a grunt on the weekends and I moved my way up to anyway. But the idea is sanding. Yeah, if you don't have a full-on your respirator, you're going to get particles in you. And that's big ass particles that are, pieces of wood or pieces of gypsum or whatever it is, stone, when you're sanding. Metal also. The masks don't cut it. They get some of it, but they definitely don't get all of it. And they're certainly not going to get viruses, which are so microscopic. I mean, the micron size is ridiculous. It can go through a condom, right? These same fucking lies. This is why, at my age, I have one gay friend left. And see, here in Hawaii, some guys are mahu. That's as simple as that. We don't have the same thing where, like, you got to be gay to hang out with gay guys. Or, bi or whatever they are. There's a whole culture here, and from an early age I learned that some guys like to play with girls, right? Simple as that. All of those guys are dead, every fucking one of them. Why? Because of the AIDS crisis. Fauci was the same fucking guy, and you can find signs and pictures of people holding up signs saying Fauci is killing us, because he did the AZT scam and told the same bullshit stories about how condoms were going to protect, and they didn't. Right? Masks wouldn't protect you either. Just be happy that this virus has a 99.9 or 99.6 or whatever the fuck it is, 99.4% survivability rate. And you can read right on the box. You can read it to them that it says on the box that this thing doesn't provide you protection against COVID-19. It says it on the fucking box. There's a disclaimer on it. But I'll, ignore that. Otherwise, it's conspiracy theory, right? But I mean, fuck. All right. All agree that poor facial. Oh wait, I just read that. Okay, in their well-referenced 2011 article on respiratory protection for healthcare workers, Doctors Harriman and Brosseau, 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 conclude that face masks will not protect against inhalation of aerosols. Could it be more clear? Following their 2015 literature, and I'm of course going to put the link down here, and guess what? The very fucking fact that they pulled this thing off of their website, or somebody did, and now you can only get it on the Wayback Machine, when right up until April, I was able to see this thing. I was able to do it, and then one day I went back there and it was gone, and then I went to the Wayback Machine, and fortunately, it's been put in there like 280 times. So it's not that hard to find on the Wayback Machine. But the very fact that you got to go to the Wayback Machine should be clue enough. But it's not for these mask-breathing mouth wearers. Anyway, where was I? Conclude that face mask. Okay, wait, 11. Following their 2015 literature review, Dr. Zhou and colleagues stated there is a lack of substantiated evidence to support claims that face masks protect either patient or surgeon from infectious contamination. So it doesn't work either way. And look, it's ZHOU. He's Chinese. Them Chinese guys are smarter, right? That's the freaking bullshit paradigm that we've come up with. There are more honor students in China than there are students in the United States. But guess what? There are more F students in China than there are students in the United States too. So just being Asian doesn't make you any better or any worse. And every one of them can be bought for a price. But this was back before they were buying doctors to say this or that about face masks. This is when they were just doing a report for dentists in their happy little dentist magazine. Anyway, 25. In the same year, Dr. R. McIntyre noted that randomized controlled trials of face masks failed to prove their efficacy. And it's footnoted. In August 2016, responding to a question on the protection from face masks, the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety replied, and it's bulleted here. Let's read the 3 bulleted points that the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety replied with. Bullet point number 1: the filter material of surgical masks does not. Does not retrain. We'll start over. The physical. See, I get all excited and then I can't speak. All right, calm down. The filter material of surgical masks does not return or filter Oh wait, retain or filter out submicron particles. Guess what? Viruses are submicron particles. If you fucking believe that viruses are the cause in the first place. But all right, well, we're not even going there, are we? Surgical masks are not designed to, oh wait, bullet point number 2. Surgical masks are not designed to eliminate air leakage around the edges. You know, all right. Oh, and I just realized I should have shaved before I started this, but oh well, this is how I look scruffy. Surgical masks do not protect the wearer. Oh, bullet point number 3. Surgical masks do not protect the wearer from inhaling small particles that can remain airborne for long periods of time. So if there are tiny aerosols or tiny airborne particles and you got a mask on, it ain't going to protect you from inhaling it, or so says these silly people from the Canadian Center for Occupational Health and Safety. I mean, what would they know, though? I mean, that's what they do, but I mean, yeah. Fuck it. Just listen to whoever's on your TV set. This article goes on and on and on, and I'm going to just read down here at the conclusion. And I mean, see, the references here, just go down and read the references from the Ontario Ministry of Health, from all the, face mask performances, are you protected, oral health, March 2016, right? So there's an even earlier article that you can find on, because it's been removed also, so you have to go to the Wayback Machine to find it. But anyway, there are, gee whiz, 35 footnotes on this one. So it's not like the guy just willy-nilly said, "Oh no, face masks don't work." I mean, no, he was doing a little more than that. Anyway, so I'll put the article in there. It's in the it's underneath the other video I made before this where I went live. Let's see here. Shall I cover this? Yeah, let's go over that. So the bottom line is, you can't make me. I'm not gonna, and you're silly. Because face masks, I mean, the only reason why you're going to wear a face mask is to make other people happy. is to make it so that they don't feel uncomfortable when you're around, because the fucking media has them to the point where they're afraid that you'll breathe on them. Because if you breathe on them, even though you're not sick, do I sound sick? No, I don't sound sick. But you don't know if you have it. I've seen this on more. You don't know if you have it because you could be spreading. If you're asymptomatic. The WHO and CDC both have said, and any fucking doctor will tell you, that if you don't have symptoms, you're not going to give other people symptoms. Pretty simple. Oh, it's hot today again. All right. Anyway, thanks for the likes. I got 3 likes here. Throw some likes on it just for fun. And like I said, try and get this in front of that Educating Liberals dude just for fun. Give him some solace, because he turned to the Bible and saw that maybe you shouldn't be making pledges and stuff like that. Went back and did some reading. So yeah, thanks. I'm not joking. I appreciate it. Holy cow. And people are already making comments. It looked like a mushroom cloud to me. Yeah. But don't worry. It's just a mushroom cloud. I don't think that was a terrible accident at all. That was absolutely the opposite of an accident. That was very much on purpose. Yeah, I don't want to get jabbed either. It's going to be perfect for would be thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. All right, I'm not going to look over there because it always distracts me. Anyway, the point being here, guys, is I'll put the article down there. It's well researched. It's well referenced. Do you need an article like that when all you have to do is read the box, right? The box that they're selling at my Costco, right on the fucking box, it says, wait, I can read that to you. Let's see here. Let me find it. I'll read it to you. I have it under mask disclaimer. Yeah, see, not hot. I'll read you the actual disclaimer. And this is the thing you can do for some of your friends. You can have somebody read it to them or read it for them. There it is. Let's see here, and let's blow it up a little bit so I can, because it's a small box and it's fine print. This product, this is off the box. I'm not making this shit up, right? This is right off the damn box. This product is an ear loop mask that is an ear loop mask, period. This product is not, okay, a respiratory or respirator will not provide any. Wait a minute, what does that say? It will not provide any. It doesn't say some, it's right. It says is not a respirator and will not provide any protection against COVID-19. Right on the fucking box. And it's got a big ass warning label on it. It says it on the box. This is not some conspiracy theorist. This is not somebody that hates Fauci or loves Trump or hates Trump and loves Fauci, whatever. This is just some guy reading the fucking box. And the box says it's not a respirator and will not provide any protection. Any is the word they used against COVID-19. Could it be plainer than that? Oh, wait a minute. And let's go a little further. What does it say? And it puts in parentheses coronavirus in case you were stupid and you didn't know that COVID-19 was the coronavirus. Oops, the Rona. Can't say coronavirus on YouTube because they'll take it off. I'm just reading the label, though, on the box. Or other viruses or contaminants. Or other viruses or contaminants. So let's in case you're slow, and your friend who is telling you that you need to wear a mask, who might be your governor or your mayor or the fuck it is, or the cop or that wants to hand you a ticket. This product is not a respirator and will not provide any protection against COVID-19, coronavirus, or other viruses or contaminants. I'm not making it up. I read it off the box. But, what would they know if they just manufacture the product? Okay, you guys like talk about silver. Let's talk about silver. It's going up. And I was expecting that they would manage to push it down. Everybody was expecting that they would manage to push it down, but it just keeps going up. Every time they push it down, it like takes a breather. They might push it down 50 cents, dumping bajillions of contracts. They're dumping paper contracts like crazy, and it's not mattering. And a lot of people, I just feel sorry for these poor guys that bought gold because they thought it was going to go, and they bought it at the peak. They just got out. They just got their money back. And they're just like, I got my money back. Now watch it just keep going. And then they're going to be like, just my luck. I'm so unlucky. No, you're just stupid. The idea is I have a lot of friends got greedy back in the day when silver was up at 45, 48. And of course, that's when they bought. And then what did it do? It came crashing right back down. And it's been down for like years, right? It hasn't gone back up. Well, now it's going up like $1 a day, $1.30 a day, $1.25 a day, $1 a day. Back when I was buying silver at $5, and unfortunately, I wish I could have held all the silver that I've bought over the years, but I've been buying and selling due to the fact that life happens and little boys need this or that. And anyway, so I haven't been able to hold on to this. And it was killing me. But, really, am I going to hold silver for 5 years? And then I sold a bunch of silver because I took a trip to Canada and had a great time up there with the Canadian person. And we had a tremendously fun time. And everybody's like, you sold your silver. That's what it's for. Life is for living, right? Am I going to sit around another 6 years waiting for my silver to double in price and then sell it and then go, well, that girl is married now and probably going to have kids and so on. So, live in the moment. But I didn't get stupid. I didn't sell all my silver by any stretch of the imagination, but I probably sold more than I should have. But, and especially now, because I guarantee you now, every time I look back at that, I'm going to be like, that is a fucking expensive vacation. But because the price of silver is going to go up, up, up from here. It's not coming back down, guys. Nothing goes straight up. Like I said, it's a yo-yo on a staircase. But silver has been pretty much doing that. I mean, it hasn't done this yet. Keyword yet. But we're headed to that stage where you think triple silver. I think 4 digits for silver, personally. Don't hold me to that, but $100, that's a gimme. That's a fucking gimme. That is not even a question in my mind that we're going to hit $100. People are talking about $400 and $500, $600. I'm serious. I think it'll bust 1,000. And there are some silver bugs that are crazy silver bugs that are thinking, and I'll put lots of links down there. Everybody's got an opinion, but the people that I kind of tend to listen to are the ones that have been calling it correct, and the people that have been in business a long time. Sometimes they haven't been getting it right, and sometimes they haven't gotten it right because nobody thought they could suppress it for this long with this money. Nobody thought we were going to go into the trillions. Nobody thought that we thought it might get to a couple of trillion maybe, but no, we didn't think it was going to get into like 90 trillion and 100 trillion and so on. And now we're like looking at quadrillions. So yeah, they couldn't see that many zeros. I couldn't see that many zeros. But the idea being is that there's a lot of guys that know a lot of stuff about the silver markets because that's what they do day in and day out. And you might want to pay attention to somebody that's what they do 8 hours a day, right? They do it all day long. So you might want to listen to what they have to say, right or wrong. But a lot of these guys have been calling it correct. So you might want to pay attention to the guys that have been getting it right. Some of the guys over at Kitco, the names aren't going to come, but the links will be below. Mike Maloney, of course, and some of the guests that he has always. I can see a couple of these guys' faces. I actually met him at the Silver Summit, and I can't bring the name up at the moment. But the idea being is that there are a lot of people that are calling for much, much higher prices, and they're just as surprised as everybody else at the rapidity of this move. I mean, it's only a couple of videos ago where I remember I went and checked the price and it was like 12 something. Well, we're double that, right? And you could, and I like I said at the time, and I'll say it at the time now, you could never have gotten silver at that price. But even if you were paying a $5 or $6 premium, you could have still got it in the teens back in the day. Those days are gone forever, I think. I don't think we're going to get crashed back down into the teens. Now, I've been proven wrong before, especially when it comes to silver, because it's volatile. So it could do a spike. Like many penny stocks and many other things, right? They do that quick spike and then they come right back down again. That can happen, but overall, it's going to keep doing that, because here's the difference between this time and every other time is that this time we have printed trillions of dollars. It's scary how much money they printed, and they're talking about, oh, well, just stimulus, right? They're calling it stimulus. They'll just hand out more. While Trump has been handing billions, and I do mean billions, to his banker buddy friends. And giving you $600 or $1,200 and so forth. Like I said, the difference, and I'll also put some stuff about real estate crash down there. Mathematically, all this stuff is certain. This is not conspiracy theory. It's not up for fucking debate. It's math. It's just fucking math. And you hate math because she's a cold-hearted bitch and she doesn't care how you feel about her. She doesn't give a shit. Math is math. So the idea is much of the forbearance and making it so that you can't foreclose, and you can't even kick out deadbeat renters, the guys that can't make rent and so forth. And by the way, I was one of the guys that couldn't make rent. All my, I'm off by a day, but I mean still, just because I made a boo-boo and I used an account to buy silver that I usually use to pay my rent with, and then I realized, oops, I used the wrong account, and then I had to take the account that I usually buy in stocks and so forth with, and move the money from that account to that account. And of course, the fucking bankers, the way they are now, is that they don't do instant transfer. They hold the money as long as they can. And so it took an extra day for it to get here. And anyway, but I just expected that, because guess what? So one of my clients couldn't pay me. Right? And I've had, they just like, will I get paid? Yes. But same thing. I have several clients. And why couldn't they get paid? Because they're renters. See the chain reaction? Because the people that they rent to, because some of them have rental properties, because I have some quote unquote low end guys, and these low end guys are, upper middle class, and they're really starting to feel the pinch. The guys that are upper class, the ones that are renting out villas on Maui for $15,000. The villa's paid for, right? They're not using that 15 grand to make the mortgage, because there isn't a mortgage on properties like that. They either own it free and clear or they don't. It's the other guys, the guys that, their rent is, their mortgage is $3,500, and the Ohana pays, $1,500 of it or $2,000 of it or whatever. And they ain't getting money. And the reason also you'll see that in the real estate market, it doesn't happen like the stock market. It takes 90 days or 120 days or 6 months to even start getting the person out. I remember once I had a friend, they wanted me to live in the cottage in the back of their house. And they're like, well, as soon as we get the renter out. I was like, well, how hard is the renter out? I thought they were supposed to be out on the 30th. Yeah, but they're not moving. I was like, what? Because I had no idea. I'm clueless. I don't rent property and I don't do any of that kind of stuff. And it turns out that, on Maui at least, and I understand in other jurisdictions also, it can be a little difficult to get a renter out, even if they haven't paid you a dime in rent. And you can prove it and you can show that they haven't paid you. It's hard to get them out of your house, even sheriffs and so forth. They have, because there's all kind of laws and so forth that make it more difficult for you to throw a person out on the street. Bankers are not subject to those same laws. Although they have been, like I said, they just had 90-day forbearance. You can't kick people out. You can't even start the whole foreclosure process, but that just ended. So you're not going to see a mortgage or real estate bursting of the bubble until 2021, conveniently after the elections, right? That's when you'll see it. And first, before you get repossessions and before you get foreclosures and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have, step one is evictions. Right? The evictions haven't even started happening yet. So first you got to evict the renters or the people that are not paying their mortgages or whatever it is. And then you can foreclose on the properties. And then, okay, now I'm going to tell you, this story is familiar to my family. And I paid attention when my grandmother and my uncle and so forth were talking about this. Because if you go on my grandmother's side, she's one of many many. On my grandfather's side, going up the mother line, was only two. And he went back, one of them, there was my grandfather and his brother went back to fucking Lithuania. I don't look Lithuanian, but I am. But the idea being is that he said, fuck it, because everything he worked for here in the United States was stolen from him back in the 1930s. And he was pissed off about it, and he left. He went back to Lithuania. He's like, how much worse can it be here than there? Because he thought this was the land of the free, home of the brave. And anyway, they thought a lot of things that weren't true. But they've done this before, and they're just a little bit ahead of schedule. About every 100 years, they pull something like this, wherein the baby boomers had become wealthy, and the bankers were just salivating, just all of their mouth. They just couldn't wait for you guys to get to the point where the property was mostly, you paid them for your whole lives, your mortgages were, and now they're going to take them from you as much as they can. And if they can't get them from you, they get them from your kids or your children. But the idea is that they are going to get that property one way or the other, because you can't own anything, slave. They gave you usufruct of it for your lifetime, and now they're going to take it back. Take a look at what happened in 1933. But the bottom line is, we have a human, and they're blaming the COVID, they're blaming the Rona, they're blaming the disease. It's not the disease, it's the reaction that the Democrat governors have to it, locking down and wiping out the middle class and taking the currency. It's just very simple. There was a currency that was flowing into the middle class, all these different businesses and mom and pops and bars and restaurants and all the kind of stuff that middle class businesses were doing, right? Small businesses, big business, clothing stores, and health food stores, and all the little tiny stores, small shops that you might find in the malls that are independently owned, and strip malls and all the other home businesses and so forth. And they took the current, and they made it so you couldn't go in there. Right? Mandatory shutdown, barber shops and all that kind of stuff. And they just moved the current to themselves. What? What the fuck, slaves? What's the problem? And you did it. That's your money. That moved into Jeff Bezos' coffers and the Walton family coffers and Berkshire Hathaway coffers and the companies that they own and so forth. All the big businesses that do all the same things that little businesses do. And see, this is the other thing. Like they love making it so that internet tax and so forth, because these guys can't afford all the taxes. These guys can't afford minimum wage. These guys can't afford all that kind of stuff. So it wipes them out, and your currency goes to the upper class. Simple. This is not rocket surgery. This is not brain science. This is just very simple mathematics. Take the money and move it to them and wipe these guys out. And then what we're going to have? We're going to have the upper class over here, and then we're going to have the lower class over here that serves the upper class. Simple. See, here on Maui, we definitely have an upper class. They own huge and lovely houses all over this island. A lot of it's beachfront, but a lot of it's, you can go out to the Haiku side, or what was called East Maui on Puelo and all the way out toward Hana, the various different, right? And you'll find beautiful palatial estates, 100% off-grid, because it was a thing, right? Because they were prepared for this. Or they were preparing for this well in advance, where they got their own solar, they got their own water catchment, they got their own sewage system. Like, they're 100% off grid. They're off grid, right? They don't have anything to do with the county. When it comes to, they might have power, but it's a switch, and they can switch to the power from the county if they wanted to. But why would they when they have their own system? Same thing with the water. Same thing. And a lot of them, they don't even have a meter or something that goes onto the water, and they get away with that for a little bit of money. But the idea being is that there are some extremely wealthy and beautiful homes dotted all over this island, and them people don't cut their grass, and they don't cut their own, right? They don't cut their grass, and they don't dust their furniture, and they don't vacuum their living rooms themselves. They pay people to do that for them. Simple as that. That's everywhere on the planet, but that's particularly here on Maui. And what they're looking for is there's going to always be these people, and you can be very comfortable, like I said. I have several friends that are doing it, and I just got a phone call from one of them this morning. It's like, I bit off more than she could chew. She's got this business that she does landscaping and house cleaning and all kind of stuff, and I give her credit. She is a total go-getter. And she got a little problem here because she got, I can't remember, she got like 5 jobs, and she only got enough to do like 3 of them, so she needed help. And she said, will you help me out? And I'm like, of course I will, right? Why wouldn't I? Am I doing it for the money, or am I doing it to help out a friend? Right? And soon, if things keep the way they are, I will be doing it for the money. They keep this shit up. But anyway, at the moment, I'm doing it to help out a friend. So I'm gonna get too fucking cocky here. But the idea being is that, as I said before, you get this nut, right? You get this nut covered, and this is where she is. She's like very comfortable. She got all her rent is paid, all of her equipment. She's got like mowers and a sit-down mower and weed whackers and chainsaws, and then on the other end of it, she's got vacuum cleaners and mops and brushes and buckets and all that kind of shit for people. And she got all that stuff paid for, and she pays for people, and she pays, her truck's paid for, and all that other stuff's paid for, and then she's got all this quote unquote free money, right? Well, it's not free money; it's disposable income is the term. So she's a successful slave, right? Because at the end of the month, she got more money than she has money. A lot of people, not successful slaves, they get to the point where it's the end of the month and they got to hit a credit card, or they got to hit a little bit of equity out of the house because they got one of them revolving credit lines or something, because they don't make enough money to cover all the expenses at the end of the month, right? So you can be a very comfortable slave, but you're still a slave in this bottom echelon over here, serving the rich if you want to. But you ain't flying around in private jets, right? You ain't taking 3 months off to go to exploring in New Zealand or Australia or whatever the fuck it is. You can't do that, right? You're not sitting on a cruise ship going down to the buffet all day, right? I mean, I've done a couple cruises and eat and fuck. That's basically all you do, because there isn't anything to do on the boat other than Anyway, but the idea being is that there's definitely going to be a huge dichotomy, and if that one guy, and it's just one guy, who used to be a total Q-tard and used to be a total Q supporter, and he was going to apologize to Anomaly. I watched this video. I'll see if I'll actually put the video below. He educating liberals, and I can't remember the guy's actual name, but I just remember that handle, educating liberals, because it was awesome. Because he used to educate liberals, he really did. But then he realized that maybe he needed a little educating too, and I don't know if somebody told him about birth certificates. I think where he finally went burr is when they started talking about take the pledge, right? And if you don't think that that can be co-opted, you are any organization, any movement can be infiltrated by the other side or by actors in the other side or whatever. And even if it's solid and even if they're good, it doesn't mean that there can't be people in there that aren't, right? Like going back to, say, Malcolm X, or going back to Garvey, right? Garvey, and if you don't know who Garvey is, I'm so not going there. But anyway, Garveyism and Thomas Garvey. Okay, that was a whole movement, and yeah, it got infiltrated because they weren't having it. Same thing with Malcolm X. They weren't having it. Doesn't make Malcolm X a bad guy. Doesn't make well, depends on your point of view. But I mean, doesn't mean that Malcolm X was a part of it. It means that the people that were involved in that quote unquote movement got infiltrated. The government told you that they were gonna, and they did. And and then they ended up assassinating him, and that whole fucking thing just fell apart very rapidly, didn't it? Okay. The same thing can happen with Q. The same thing can happen with any of them, any organization or any crew. This is the thing with violent revolution. This is the thing with revolution. If you read Law of Nations and Machiavelli and what's the other one? Rules of Governance. Revolutions tend to eat their children, right? They tend to. That's why with the French, when they had a revolution and they had another revolution, they basically. Revolutions tend to do that. They start off with grand flute and high ideals, like we did here in America, not United States Corporation, but United States Corporation has very much taken over America. And the idea is that the Americans are starting to figure out that, wait a minute, we were supposed to be free, and we were supposed to be able to travel, and we were supposed to be able to do all this other stuff, and we were supposed to be merchants, and we were supposed to have free trade and all this great stuff, and our children were going to be artists and philosophers and all that, right? And nah, servants. And what we have now and it's the greatest I think it's ever been, as long as we've been keeping track in the modern times. What they call the wealth gap between them that have and them that have not has never been higher. It has never been greater. And I can tell you, history does not repeat, but it rhymes. In all the history of the world, whenever this wealth gap gets too out of control, bad things happen. Every time. Never not once. Okay, so there's this book over here. And that education liberals guy is talking about it because he's a Christian and so on, and he's still taking the story literally, which makes me sad. Oh, I saw a great crop circle that had, did you see that one? I think, oh, I got it from, man, I can't remember the name, the guy's names. And then, I got it from Destroying the Illusion Dude. Jordan, I think his name. Anyway, it's a beautiful crop circle. And it's beautiful because it's the first one I've ever seen that has a tree in it, and the shadow is like that. And it's perfect, right? I mean, that crop circle is perfect. I'll see if I'll put a link to it so you can see it. But basically, what that is, I can't tell you what they were trying to say, but I can tell you what this is more than like. These are the 4 cardinal. Here's your 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Here's your solstices. Actually, here's your equinox. Here's your solstices. And basically, what you're looking at is that procession, and you'll see old maps. Santos, what's his nuts? Bonacci. I can't remember his name. He talks about it where you start over here in Aries and you work your way through and so forth. And all right, so you can take this same thing, and instead of making it a sine wave, you can turn it into a circle. So here's your Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. There's your red horsemen and your white horsemen, and right, the 4 horsemen. Right, and see, I talk about the 4 horsemen in that one way. When it comes to war and divide and conquer and famine and so forth, but there's a whole other way you can interpret those 4 horsemen. And I've been fooling around with the medical cipher just a little bit. Edgar Cayce and a few others talk about ciphering this book using a metaphor for the that dragon chasing the virgin. You're the virgin, and you're going to give birth to you. Right? It's a metaphor. Right? There's no dragon. Well, there is a dragon. That's the negative thought, the person that, or the thing or the idea in your mind that's always full of doubt and, tells you you're not good enough. And I don't know, maybe whatever it is that haunts you or, that you have self-doubt about. And this other book tells you all about the concept of great doubt and having self-doubt. And so the and how to overcome it. But anyway, in the Book of Revelations, in the New Testament, in the Book of Daniel, right, both of these talk about some very interesting visions and so forth that these guys have had. And there are interpretations that talk about it from a very simple perspective. Like I said, the 4 horsemen of the pocket, they got those 4 ponies that they use constantly to divide and conquer us, to get us to war with each other. They use famine. They use pestilence. But they can also be talking about these 4 points, this point, this point, this point, this point, and that point of the procession or the year starting in March 21st, and then the various equinoxes and solstices. Well, there's 4. They can also be represented by those 4 horsemen in the book, right? You can also represent other things using those 4 horsemen. That the white horse is this, and the red horse is that, and so on. Because the Talmud and many others will tell you that there is more than one way to skin a cat. There's at least 4 ciphers, right? The cipher of the 33, when it talks about Jesus being 33 years old. Anyway, there's that whole cipher there talking about the Christos and the oil, holy oil raising up and so on. In this book, they talk about the Kundalini in this book, right? But this book, and like I said, I should have earmarked the page, where in this book, it very clearly states in the beginning, these are just stories designed to enlighten you. These are stories to try to explain what's going on here. You're not supposed to take them literally. You can take them literally, but they're supposed to be used as guideposts. They're supposed to be used to, and you got to know what the words mean, and you have to know who John the Baptist was supposed to represent. You have to know, certain things. Like you want to blasphemy, the utter blasphemy that comes from understanding the concept of the 7 Hermetic principles and understanding that there's this story told in that book, and many people will cross their arms and say, well, that book is fake because you got the story of Horus, and we got the other mystery, and we got story after story where there's born of a virgin, and there's Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, or some variation thereof, and there's some variation of the Virgin Mary, and there's some variation, well, not variation, on the 25th day. They're born in December, right? A lot of these saviors or these other heroes are born on the 25th. Yeah, because it's the same story, told generation by generation. And then the last time the Romans told us this story and put that book together, they turned it into a literal thing because, as I said, there's at least 4 ciphers. There's at least 7 ciphers that I know of. I've heard of 10. I don't know 10 ciphers. I don't even know all 4 ciphers. But the idea being is that because there's a medical cipher, there's an astrological cipher, there's the law cipher, obviously. That's the one I was most interested in, is the parables and so forth when it comes to, say, even just, that says Leviticus. When it comes to bankruptcy, go look at Leviticus. When it comes to understanding some of the astrology, there's other books that you can read and it's absolutely a metaphor for astrology. You don't have to use much imagination once you have somebody explain it to you. So anyway, the point being is that there's more than one way to interpret these things, and that same book, the same book that that guy's talking about, that can set you free, is the same book that can enslave you. That's the joke. That's the trick. And now many people, not many, some people in the movement are figuring out that, yeah, they wanted you just awake enough to vote Republican or vote for the guy that wants to try and get rid of some of these pedophiles. And I said it from the beginning, I don't see that he's that clean his own self. He's run with this crowd for his whole life, and he's had to deal with the mob for his whole life. I don't see that he's squeaky clean. But at the same time, I do see that he is absolutely, it's the mob fighting the mob, right? So it's like when drug lords are trying to take out another drug lord and they go over to the police or they're cooperating with the police. They're not necessarily turning over a new leaf and being good and have decided that they're not going to sell drugs anymore. They're getting rid of their fucking competition so that then they can move into that. And now they sell even more drugs, right? And now they have a bigger audience and a bigger market share is what they're doing. They're not trying to get rid. Okay, so I'm not saying Trump is the same. I have jury's still out for me. I need more data. But the idea being is that, and I've been in this argument on more than one occasion now, and just recently, if they had something that they could nail Trump to the wall with, do you not fucking think they would have brought it out by now? There are people that are now have figured out that this is a life and death struggle, right? What is it? Herman Cain just happened to own a pizza, right? Godfather's Pizza, and there's lots of boxes you can find on the internet that have Boys Town and the number on there and so forth. And he was also a Fed chairman who owned a pizza. I mean, fuck. Anyway, and he got the Rona and died. He survived cancer, but the Rona took him out at 74, which is not a young spring. See, that's the other thing. You're not a spring chicken at 74. Nobody's going to ask too many questions about it, right? I don't care how these fuckers go as long as they go, right? And the idea is that the terms of surrender have already been negotiated, and they're not going to tell you that so-and-so was a pedophile and that he was 86th. They're not going to tell you that. They're just going to say that, oh, they got the Rona, or they committed suicide, or they jumped off a bridge, or whatever the fuck it is. Or they just died of old age, or whatever. But they're not going to tell you that, oh, yeah, we're cleaning up these pedophiles and we're getting rid of them, right? Now, here's the thing. Please tell me how it is. And there was a video that I put there, and there are quite a few people that were talking about this. Trump going around the world handing people documents and basically stone cold busted. You stone cold busted. We got here, look, here's DVDs of you fucking doinking children. Here's you doing fucking ridiculous, insane rituals to Moloch or whoever the hell it is. Here's, right, so here's it, all it is, ironclad. So what is he doing? He's doing the exact same thing that they use. I mean, the exact same tactic on the pedophiles and traffickers themselves. Now, and it's become very, very clear that they're locking people up and they're breaking up pedophile rings, and people are dying and getting put in prison, and they got Ghislaine Maxwell, and I'm very confident, and I can't prove it because it's crazy conspiracy theory. I don't think everybody knows, and I mean that's hearsay, Your Honor. In a court of law, everybody knows doesn't stand up, but everybody knows that guy didn't kill himself. I mean, you got to just be stupid to think that he killed himself. All right. There are plenty of people, and I know several in the conspiracy crowd, they're absolutely positively sure that he got killed, and it might have been Trump that did it, or whoever it is that did it. Some of the pedophiles killed him. I know others in the thing that absolutely think that he didn't kill himself and he wasn't killed. He was sprung, and that's what they did, that they used the body double and got him out of there. And now he's alive and well and enjoying his money someplace else, and even better because now everybody thinks he's dead, and all he has to do is not really be seen much, and he's good. And maybe they do some plastic surgery, God knows. I don't know. It could be. He could actually be dead, but whatever it was, he didn't kill himself, right? We know he didn't do it himself. If he is dead, somebody else did it. and if he did get sprung, again, somebody else did it. All right. What's the truth? We don't know. We can't tell. Right? I mean, I don't have a magic 8-ball, and I don't have access to any better information than you do. I mean, all on the internet, all you can get is speculation. You can have some stuff that's more probable than others. My personal feeling is that, yeah, they sprung him, that they just got him out of there. And same thing, and the reason why investigation kind of sort of comes to an end. And there are plenty. There are plenty of pictures of Trump and Epstein rubbing elbows. But at the same time, talking to various people and watching old interviews and so forth, Trump loved women. Not girls, not little girls, but women. It is obvious. He did beauty pageants, and look at his wife and look at his ex-wives. I mean, he was one of those men, alpha male, that liked women. Did it go further than that? I don't know. But from what I've heard, no, his thing was like, gorgeous, beautiful, full-grown women. These other ones were much more sick than that. And it also appears that I don't think, see, and this is me just thinking, that doesn't make it gospel and it doesn't make it fucking true. I don't think that he was involved in the dark arts and the dark cult of things. I think he was aware of it. I mean, and think. It's like somebody like, General Flynn might be a Mason. Every general might be a Mason. Every general. In fact, that might be a prerequisite for being a general. Just saying. So, it is a club that we ain't in. All right. And that club, talking about dark magic and white magic, and talking about Masons and this Masonic symbols and all the stuff that goes with the occulted knowledge doesn't make it necessarily evil, because, like I said, it's this thing, and I should probably talk more about this in that crop circle, but I just find it interesting that the thing is beautiful. It's actually pretty to look at, and with the tree of life in the middle of it, and anyway, in the shadow we just came out of, because didn't we just, if this is the, if you're looking at, what is it, June 21st, wasn't it? That was the last equinox. So we just came out of the equinox. And anyway, I think it has something to do with time and so on. Trying to interpret a crop circle is, it's been one time that a crop circle actually knew what the hell it meant. Just by kismet, I had been studying something, and then I looked at that crop circle and I went, oh. Other than that, right. But the fact that there are crop circles that in the first place should be like, okay. And then through all of this noise and all this stuff is going on, United States military comes out, okay, and let's talk about that for just a second. Let's just talk about that. But what I want to say with the United States military, there's alien craft here. Okay, but before I interrupt myself yet again, but what I was going to say is, do we call it the YouTube, or do we just call it YouTube? Do we call it are you on the Instagram, or is it just Instagram? Are you on the Facebook, or are you just on Facebook? Okay, it's the same thing with United States Corporation. It's not the United States. It's just United States. It's United States Corporation. It's a corporation that's designed to fool you and your ear into thinking that they are the de jure government of the United States of America. It is not the United States of America. It is United States Corporation with no the. But I have been trained like a sheep, and so have you, to say the, right? We give them the, right? They don't deserve the, and the doesn't sound right. It shouldn't sound right to you. Just like it should sound silly when I say the YouTube. I'm on the YouTube going live. No, I'm on YouTube going live, right? That doesn't sound odd to you. But if I say United States Corporation without saying the, that seems to sound a little odd. But look around on their paperwork and look around on the stuff they send you. It doesn't say Department of the Treasury, United States, or it'll say Treasury Department. It doesn't say United States of America. It doesn't say the United States of America. It just says United. What does that say? It says United States. It says, it doesn't say, do you see the United States of America on there? Do you see even the United States? It just says United States. The corporation is called United States. The corporation, United States, has a Treasury Department. Many corporations have Treasury Departments. All right. The difference between this corporation and all the other corporations is this one fucking straight up thinks it owns you because you haven't told them different. On this side, it does in fact say the United States of America. Wait, oh, and here's some others. I just happen to have a pile here because, let's see here. Oh, let's take a look at this bill. This bill has been redesigned and redesigned, and then they redesigned it again, and look at that. And now it's very cool when you turn it sideways. It goes from gold to green. It's a really cool bill, and it's got this strip there, and look where the strip is. I have a feeling. I'm not saying I'm right. It's a feeling, right? So notice how the strip is on this side. I got a feeling they're going to snip these bills in half. And we're going to be dealing with this one side and not this side, this side. See, because, left-hand path, right-hand path. Oh, the left side, the right side. And then look at this side. This side, got that cool stuff on there, and it's got gold in there, and it's got all that. And if you hold it up to the light, it's got watermarks in there, and it's like that. This is a really cool bill with all kind of crazy shit in it. They're changing our money. It should be clear to everyone watching this that the monies are going to change. What are they changing it to? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Is it going to be sound gold-backed money and sound currency? That would be the hope, but I don't know. Are they going to get rid of this altogether and go 100% digital? There's a lot of people talking about that, the fact that we might just go digital. But spend some time with your money and take a look at all the symbolism on it. And take a look. And then you need one of these things so that you can look at all that engraving and say, nothing is on this bill by accident. Nothing snuck in there. It's all there because they put it right in front of you and it's right on your fucking money. Right? So I'm not going to tell you everything. There are other people that will do stuff, but I mean everything. And see, and then the architecture also. See, in the old buildings, that architecture used to tell you all kind of stuff too. But the idea is that things are changing. I don't know if you can feel it. I can feel it. I feel it. I can feel it. A change is coming. Hope it's for the better. Right? Change doesn't necessarily. Numerous videos. We're going to come out the other side of this thing smelling like roses. We just got to get through the middle. And that doesn't mean that there won't be casualties. That doesn't mean that there won't be shit blowing up in Beirut and other places around the planet. Don't be there, right? And it's getting to the point where there's this one video where these people were dangerously, and I'm pretty sure all those people died. Their cell phones survived, but I think they died. But when you're dangerously close to a big event like that, you might want to run for cover. You might want to just not stand there with your phone out. I mean, I know that's the natural thing, but yeah, if you don't know what it is and it's a big fire, get the fuck out of there. That's just for future reference, because I don't think this is the last booms. This is not the last Boomy Booms that we're gonna have. I know that's crazy talk, and I'm happy for all those people that gave us a video. And you'll notice that much of the video, especially from Beirut, and see, they got you focused on Beirut. What else was happening? Somebody pointed out that the King of Spain kind of disappeared. I can't make a video because not an hour goes by in the daytime here where there isn't a police car or an ambulance going by, right? Every day. I live on, like I said, I live on a main thoroughfare, and every day now, every single day since we've had this lockdown. Again, we've had 400% increase in domestic violence, 150% increase, and that's the latest numbers. I haven't looked, or those are old numbers, not the latest numbers. I haven't looked recently. 150% increase in overdoses, domestic violence, suicide. I mean, it's all up. We don't have more accidents. That guy more than likely wasn't responding to an accident. And if I sat here longer, there'll be more sirens because that's what's going on, because people can't do actuarial science and they don't understand that these lockdowns are actually causing more carnage. We've had 2 more die. I think we're up to 19 now in a state of 1.4 million, 4 million. We've had like 200 cases because flu always happens in the summertime. There's always flu outbreaks in the summertime. This will be the first time in the history of the world that there's been a flu outbreak in the summertime that I know of. If you can correct me, go ahead. Put it down there over here in the comments or someplace else. But I've never heard of there being flu epidemics in the summertime because flu doesn't do well in heat. I mean, I want to take this shirt off. The last video I did, I didn't even have a freaking shirt on because I'm sweating. It's hot today, and I live in a house where I don't do air conditioning. You just open the windows. It's Hawaii. You turn a fan on and open the windows. I'm up on the mountain. But I mean, it's August and it's the middle of the day and it's freaking hot, like it's supposed to be. Notice how the global warming story is going away. All right. Anyway, let's back up to before I got interrupted by that siren. The idea is that big change coming. Many different places. People are starting to figure out that something's going on, and they're not telling us, right? The military comes out and says, "Oh, by the way, we've got these alien craft. We got these craft here that weren't built on Earth. That these things were not built on this planet." They came out and said that in black and white. Goes right up. Nobody, that should have been earth-shattering. That should have been an earth-shattering kaboom. That should have been a boomy boom. But it was just like nobody noticed that. Really, there's craft on this planet that wasn't made on this planet. Okay. Want to show us pictures more than that? You want to maybe show us the propulsion systems? You maybe view of the cockpit, perhaps? Maybe? Nope. Just, oh, by the way, we have these craft. Okay, go about your business. By the way, put your mask on. I mean, fuck. What? I mean, it's crazy. We live in insane times. It's the most awesome thing. Okay, so if we have these alien craft, and that's a big if, they could be lying. They could be funning you. I don't think they are, but they could be. Because I think alien invasion is the next card. They're gonna pull alien invasion. It's gonna be complete bullshit. But we got holographic technology now that'll blow your mind. And we do have some really cool craft that we designed. I mean, like us, not even using reverse engineered stuff. I mean, just stuff that we designed that we've got is looking pretty awesome. And maybe there is some stuff that was reverse engineered. I don't know. But whatever, we have enough that we could probably, we can fool these people into putting a mask on. You can probably fool them into thinking that there's aliens coming down from the sky and little green men are taking over. And because they have so much superior technology, you better do what they say, even though you'll never see an alien and even though you'll never meet one. Thus far, I have yet to meet an alien that I knew was an alien. But I think that's the next act in the play, or the next play in the playbook is alien invasion. But they did. They came out. Check me if I'm wrong. I mean, they came out and said, "Oh, by the way, we have alien craft." Sounds vaguely important to me. I mean, really? So what you're saying is there are other, and not only are there others. We're not talking about amoebas in the soil in some other planet no. We're talking about people that are, well, people is probably not the right word, but I guess we could use people. But beings, things that could manipulate matter well enough to build a craft that could get here from wherever else there is, and wherever else the closest thing is pretty fucking far away. So, what the hell kind of technology do they have to be able to put an alien craft over here? And again, we are a needle in a haystack if you take a look at the cosmos, as it were. So really, they came to visit little OS. So life must be teeming out there if we're on the agenda or on the list of places to go. Because we're out in the backwoods here, and Sol isn't that big of a solar system. If I was looking around with my telescope, this might not be the #1 place I'd come explore. Although, we've got these planets, but turns out there are many solar systems with planets on them. So anyway, the bottom line is some other species, some other entities from someplace else built some craft and came here. They announced it, and it was no big deal. Awesome. I mean, forget about that. Let's talk about silver. Forget about that. Let's talk about Trump. Forget about the fact that there are others in the universe. Let's talk about other stuff because, that's just silly. Um, I mean, this is like I said, there's so much going on. There boomy booms are happening. Some of the booms, what I would consider that a really fucking big boom, but apparently not many of us have because that it went by. Like I said, most people didn't even notice. Okay, so it's mind blowing what's going on right now, and the fact that we're at war. They don't have to tell us we're at war. They have to tell us about fertilizer and fireworks. That's all they have to tell us. Don't worry, we're not really at war. But like I said, if we're going to go to war, and we're going to go from where we are now to where we want to be, that transition could be very bumpy. In war, there's casualties. There's dead people in Beirut. There's dead people in Baghdad. There's dead people in numerous other places. Don't be one of those dead people. Because we don't get from A to B without there being some teeth knocked out, and you're going to skin your knees, and there's going to be some stuff happening between here and there. So do your best not to protect yourself from these things. Silver was one of the things. Gold is one of the things. I don't recommend gold. I think silver is the much better deal. I did some videos where I showed you the freeze-dried food. Just prepare, just in case, because it should be pretty obvious. Something's happening. We're going from here to there, and I don't know where there is, and I don't know how we get there, but I can tell you that it's probably not going to be smooth sailing. So protect yourself. Oh, and another thing while I'm here, thanks for 10 likes, thanks, and only 15 people watching. That's a pretty good ratio. Thanks for the Patreons. There's a guy that gave me $5 a month, so thanks. And then everybody gives me shit about you talk about Patreon and then you don't put the Patreon link down there. All right, fine. I'll put the Patreon link down there if you. Anyway, it's easy to find, but I'll put it down there too. But you'll see there'll be lots of information, lots of videos like there always is, and links and articles and so forth below here, and you can spend some time educating self. And like I said, you cannot wake your friends up. You can't. They won't wake up. And this is the thing. People are wanting me to do math. I'm not doing math for you when it comes to, say, the explosion in Beirut. Let's just go with that. Okay, there's a simple math that you can do, which when it comes to force and how much force it takes and how much explosive force it takes to pull concrete off a rebar. It's a lot, right? I talked about it earlier. The idea is that I could do all the math for you over here, and it wouldn't matter because Karen would say, "Go, yeah, but." Right? Or yeah, so, and you'd lose them anyway because they can barely do freaking algebra, much less the kind of math that you need here, which involves employing formulas. And anyway, idea being is that sodium nitrate didn't do Beirut. Sodium nitrate didn't do Oklahoma City. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, and steel reinforced structures do not collapse into their footprint at free fall speed. That's just math. That's not me being a conspiracy theorist. That's just fucking physics. Laws of physics don't just go out the window when we have big events. Laws of physics didn't go out the window on 9/11. Laws of physics didn't go out the window the other day. Oh, and by the way, what's today? Am I on the day? Yeah, fucking we're on the day. There's been one nation, and one nation only, that we know of, officially, absolutely officially, that dropped thermonuclear devices on humans. Atomic weapons. We are the only one. United States Corporation is the one. It wasn't the United States of America. It wasn't the American people. It was a corporation known as United States. United States Corporation dropped bombs on babies today and ended World War II. Right? Okay. These baby bombers love you so much. They'll put a mask on. These baby bombers have turned over a new leaf, and now they're stopping child trafficking. Okay, you want to believe that? You see, and this is the thing. Americans in general, actually, not even just Americans. Fuck it. That's very. That's hubristic of me. The human. Okay, and not even a human. Men and women on this planet overall, and I have traveled a lot. I haven't traveled more than most, but I've traveled more than a lot of people. I've been all over the United States and Canada and south and below the border in Mexico and Guatemala, and I've been Palau, Yap, Pohnpei, and all right, and Fiji, and Hong Kong, and blah. Okay, I've been around. I've been around a little bit. I've never been to Europe. I still haven't been to Europe. Haven't been to Africa. Haven't been to Australia. There's lots of places I still want to go. But the idea is, wherever I have gone, folks is folks. Folks is good folks. Folks don't rape babies, right? Folks that they don't drink blood, and I mean, eating flesh is abhorrent to them. For most Americans or most U.S. persons, even eating a dog is you wouldn't eat a dog, right? That horrifies you. I've been in places where they eat dogs, no big deal, right? I've been in places, Philippines and Hong Kong markets where cats and dogs is part, pigeons and all that stuff is part of the fare. Bats and all kind of stuff. Yeah, them markets is something else. I've not been to Wuhan, but I've been to Shenzhen, and their freaking markets are crazy. It's awesome. They take shopping. We don't do shopping like they do shopping. They take it to a whole other level. But the idea being is that you can get pretty much if you can. We're humans. Trained. We're men and women. We eat anything. We'll eat anything. But the idea is you wouldn't eat a baby, right? That's just not even your sphere of thinking is that part. All right, that's pretty much everybody on the planet, and they know that. That's how they get away with it, because you can't even conceive of the sick, twisted things that these people do. As part, and not only do they, and see, they try to make it sound like it's a one-off, right? Like it's just this one person, or it's that one person, or that one crazy Dahmer, or that serial killer, and so forth. It's not an organized group of people that have procurers and cleanup crew and there's none of that, right? It's just no. And it turns out that it's pervasive. People are starting to figure out how pervasive it is, and people are starting to figure out that there are a large number of these sick individuals that are stupid, and they're coming down. But see, one side is going after that, but it's the same thing. Oops, I looked at the face. But it's the same animal. It's not, right? It's the left-hand path and the right-hand path. There are Masons on this side and there are Masons on this side, but they're all Masons. There are, the U.S. corporation. It's still the U.S. corporation, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, it's the U.S. corporation. Right? So, I put the in there. It's just United States Corporation. Right? No the, no A. Okay. And they came up with this crazy system with birth certificates and all this other stuff where they declare you dead. You are now property. You are, civilis mortus, I believe is what it is. You're a dead civilian. You're a dead thing. And by the way, dead things can't own property. Dead things can't even have children. So they take care of your children for you, right? They set up these trusts. So you're considered an infant. They're infants. You're all infants. And they're the magnanimous trustees that take care of it all for you, set up bonds, do all this other stuff, put you in bondage, and you never claim any of these bonds, and then they take the money. And then they make sure that they take a little bit of money. That's how they get the interest. That's where the IRS comes from. All these different private corporations are there to extract wealth from you. And see what that guy did. The one I'm talking about is educating liberals, is he woke up to the fact that the whole thing with, let's put them on this side, we'll do that. 17, yeah, all on that side, the right-hand path guys, they're still, whether they're right-hand path, they're still part of U.S. corporation. They're still Masons. They're still in a brotherhood that you're not a part of. Or, they're still have knowledge of the three temples. Oops. What are the three temples? Vatican, City of London, Washington, D.C. Right? These guys over here in these three temples, part of their knowledge is 7 Hermetic principles. Those are the 7 pillars. I've done entire videos just on the 7 Hermetic principles. You can look them up. It all starts here: mentalism. Then you have your 7 virtues, and then you have your 7. And actually, it should be like this, because if I really wanted to make a lovely drawing. All right, so kind of look at the Bank of London, and look at the facade of that building. It's all there. It's all freaking there. Anyway, so the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Okay, that's the foundation, and that's what sets up the three. And there's all kinds of symbolism for just this much. And then, they'll have pillars, and they'll have the squares with the pillars on them, and they put the 2 pillars on the two sides. That's your Social Security card has the 2 pillars on it, and in between, you'll see videos. Understand what the green mantle is. That green mantle is kingship. That green mantle is lordship. What is that red jewel about on the justice card on the tarot? But you'll also see it in music videos and so forth. People have figured out that when you send paperwork in, you may want to put it in between green pieces of paper because they're not fooling. They have a whole color code. They have a whole flag code. They have a whole way of signing documents where it depends on if you sign on the front or on the back. It depends on if you sign on top or on the right. Depends on left or right. I mean, they've got this whole crazy code of doing things. And these guys know the code, and us guys don't know the code. These guys are in the club, and you and me ain't in the club. And when somebody like me or others start to figure out some of the stuff in this club, they don't like that. So what they've done is made it so that if you want to try and get into the club, they got first off, it's a maze. It's a freaking crazy maze of learning about birth certificates and learning how to endorse and learning all this other stuff. And you can go, right here. Again, this is a -1. This is the easiest code in the history of easy codes. Put this into the, and the guy needs to move his stuff to BitChute because it's not going to stay on this channel for much longer, or this platform, not the channel, but the YouTube for much longer. But anyway, it is that.